You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
I'm back. Rudrance for Black and White Sports 2. Let's talk about Jimmy Garoppolo, because it looks like there's some good news. He may not be out for the playoffs, at least from the divisional game on through the Super Bowl, if it was to come to that. Also, as a side note, the 49ers did not put in a claim on Baker Mayfield. In fact, no team did other than the Rams, which is certainly an indictment of what's going on with Baker. I do think that's a bit of an overreaction by the league to Baker, though, because he's had a couple of good seasons. We're not talking about a Ryan Leaf, Jamarcus Russell type of bust. Not to mention, let us not forget how Alex Smith's career started out the first 6 or 7 years, and then where it ended up going later. Sean McVay is just what the doctor ordered for Baker Mayfield. So let's get to Jimmy Garoppolo, and honestly, I'm fine with them not having picked up Baker. 49ers Jimmy Garoppolo might be okay for the playoffs. This is ESPN. Perhaps the 49ers Jimmy Garoppolo season isn't over after all, sources told ESPN's Adam Schefter on Tuesday that doctors concluded Garoppolo did not suffer a Liz Frank injury in his broken left foot and will not need surgery. If his rehabilitation goes well, he has a chance to return in 7 to 8 weeks, sources said. A potential Garoppolo return would depend on whether the Niners advance far enough in the postseason. A 7-week timetable would mean a possible return for the NFC divisional round, and 8 weeks would be the NFC championship game. The Super Bowl is 10 weeks away. Niners coach Kyle Shanahan said on Monday that the news on Garoppolo's injury seemed to be better than initially feared, but he didn't want to offer an official diagnosis until Garoppolo had sought and received one from multiple doctors. Quote, "That's why we're still trying to work through it," Shanahan said. "Some specialists have to finalize it, so we don't want to give you guys any false information." They're discussing all those things, but we're feeling like it's starting to get better than that. So we'll see when we get official information. Of course, Garoppolo would still have to prove he can recover from the injury on that timeline to be able to contribute. According to ESPN injury analyst Stefania Bell, the fact that Garoppolo doesn't need surgery indicates that he has a, quote, stable injury, which means the broken bones in his foot are in good alignment and don't need to be repositioned. And there is no significant ligament damage that would require surgery. For Garoppolo's return, there are a number of boxes he would have to check. A foot will have to go through a period of immobilization for the fractures to heal. To get back to playing, he would have to have enough mobility in the foot to run and get back to all things that quarterbacks need to do after that immobilization period. In addition, the 49ers would need to keep a roster spot available for Garoppolo. They could just carry him on the roster as the third quarterback behind the starter, Brock Purdy, and veteran Josh Johnson. Or they could put him on IR and bring him back if he's considered ready to play. The latter option might be tricky given that the Niners have already used 6 of their 8 injured reserve returns this year and are hoping to activate defensive tackle Javon Kinlaw and running back Elijah Mitchell once they have progressed from their knee injuries. Who knows if Javon Kinlaw's ever coming back? That's not been a draft pick that's worked out too well. Quote, "You're allowed 8, and that's the biggest thing. I think we need to use them by the end of the season because the playoffs aren't 4 weeks long," Shanahan said. Garoppolo suffered the injuries, 8 plays in the Sunday's victory over the Dolphins. Brock Purdy replaced Garoppolo, went 25 of 37 for 210, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick, and a passer rating of 88.8. It goes on to talk about Baker Mayfield not being claimed by the Niners, it wouldn't have mattered anyway because the Rams picked him up, and they were much higher in the picking order on the waiver wire. So, and you may be asking, am I okay with the fact that they weren't going to pick up Baker Mayfield? Yeah, I am. I don't think Baker is at the point where teams should give up on him. I think he deserves another shot with somebody. He needs absolutely some kind of offensive guru type situation, and Sean McVay certainly fits the bill. As far as Garoppolo goes, I would love to see Garoppolo come back. You guys know I think Garoppolo is actually underrated. I think he gets shit on a lot when he's a quarterback that, frankly, just goes out there and wins ball games. Say anything you want about Garoppolo, his winning percentage is literally the third highest in like the last 7 years. Only Brady and only Aaron Rodgers have won more games than Jimmy Garoppolo has. Okay, and I've talked about this other little aspect. His teammates love him. They love playing with him and for him. Garoppolo, that is. Make no mistake, there was some real drama behind the scenes involving the fact that I don't think some of those teammates love Trey Lance much. Okay? I don't know if it's a work ethic issue or just the fact that a lot of the team, they believe that Trey Lance is just not going to work out. Okay? That he wasn't a capable starting quarterback, and I'm sure there were some part of them that were sitting back thinking, are we going to tank the season because this guy can't play quarterback? And then injury brings Garoppolo back anyway, so it becomes a moot point. Now, there's also a contract factor. Could Jimmy come back? And here's the other thing. Let's say Brock Purdy is excelling. Okay, let's say we get to the end of the season. He leads them into the playoffs. We end up winning, let's say, 11 to 12 games with Brock Purdy. Do you pull him if he's on a roll to put Jimmy back in? And also, there's a risk-reward factor of what if you bring Jimmy back and he re-injures it or hurts it even further? That's going to affect a lot of things. Jimmy's trying to get a new contract with the 49ers or with a different team. And yeah, after the season that Jimmy has had leading up, he's going to have some suitors next year. Okay, plain and simple, 15 TDs, 4 picks. My guess would be 3 to 4 teams are going to be in on Garoppolo. It's not going to be like this last offseason. Teams will be chasing Jimmy this time. So I don't know. We'll have to find out. Tell me what you think. This is good news. Garoppolo may not be gone for the season. That's good. Peace. I'm out. Till next time. Black and White Network supporters, make sure you go over and check out the Black and White Network merchandise store. 25% off USA First. 25% off USA First. Go now.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.